Hi guys, just before we jump into today's episode, we wanted to remind you that you can support us over on Patreon, patreon.com/somelaugh.
Yes, for as little as £3 a month, you can sign up, get access to an extra episode once every 2 weeks, which we're hoping to increase over the coming months, especially when we're done with the festival, the Fringe, and back to giving you guys the content you want. There's also access to 3 and soon 4 of the live shows that we've done, the 2 in Glasgow and the 2 at the Edinburgh Festival. And you can also get first dibs on tickets for upcoming live shows, information of which is going to be coming very soon.
Yes. There is also an episode every 2 weeks on there. Maybe stepping that up in the future. But we've got a backlog of episodes for you to enjoy over on Patreon. Mainly just the 3 of us shooting the shit, answering questions. We let our guard down. It's loosey-goosey. People are into it. Join us over there and feel like you're supporting the pod. We love everyone that does that, don't we, Mark?
We do. As
Keeps
Steve,
us going.
As Steve is fond of saying, and I had to mention in one of the last promos, we love people that give us £3 more than people who don't.
Of course we do.
And we need to support it because Steve's just had to cancel a few days of his Fringe because COVID again for the second time.
We'll need to do, like we did for Raymond, we'll do a GoFundMe for Steve for his loss of earnings.
Yeah, Steve Fringe benefit. But yeah, guys, well, thanks a lot. And also thank you very much to everybody who did give us money at the end of the show in support of Raymond Mearns. Obviously recently had a stroke, had to cancel his run. So we appreciate that. We raised some money at the end of the last live show and we've donated that now. So thank you very much for everybody who's done so as well. And we're wishing Raymond all the very best on his recovery. Hopefully he'll be back on stage and maybe even back on the pod in the near future. But yeah, guys, so thanks a lot for the support. Hopefully see you over on the Patreon and enjoy today's episode.
Enjoy, guys.
Welcome to the Some Laugh podcast.
It could be like, oh, that was some laugh, or there was just some laughs.
Well, no promising all laugh.
No, there's going to be some.
It's some laugh.
Thanks for coming on, Amy. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Have you had a good Fringe?
I've been up for 4 days and I've seen nothing.
Good.
And then I'm going home. It's been ideal. It's been so good.
That sounds like the best Fringe.
Yeah, I've had some good food.
Where have you been?
I've been to a restaurant with Chris from The Sausage and it was posh by accident.
Right.
So we were trying to find somewhere, but it was like tea time and everywhere was busy. And then we saw a table in this restaurant and I went, oh, here we go. Have you got a table of 2? And they went, yeah, come in. And we sat down and we looked at the menu and do you know where it's like, it's £30 for a main course. And Chris's eye starts twitching. It's like, oh, fuck. But it was really nice.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the restaurant was called.
Do you know whereabouts it was?
It's near Greyfriars Bobby. If you keep walking, towards like
Nando's.
the mile. Nando's. That's the one.
It is a lot more expensive than you remember every time I go back.
It's so expensive.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. 30 quid for a meal.
So that was just for sweet corn. That was a premium side.
I tell you what restaurant it wasn't, Amy. It wasn't Carnivore. Because that's where we were last year for our shows.
God, yeah.
And it's fucking shut now.
Although it's still called Carnivore.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a Chinese, I heard.
Is it?
That's what I heard.
And they're going to rename it.
You'd think so.
There's still carnivores
so.
in China.
That's true.
Yeah.
They're carnivore in a way, probably. I don't know. Don't know what they're up to.
Sure.
Is it not even open as a restaurant now?
I don't know.
No,
I think
shut
it's
down.
just...
That seems mad, doesn't it?
It's
To
a shame,
shut
innit?
in like the busiest month of the year to be like, nah, fuck it, not opening
Can't be
now.
arsed.
Yeah.
Can't be arsed now. Shut down. How many people are coming to the city? Shut it down. No way. Sounds awful.
That was a good place for you because you got nominated for your debut show there.
Oh,
last
that was
year.
very smooth, Stephen. Yes,
Thank
I did.
you, thank you, yes.
Yeah, it was good. It was sort of like, it was a good venue, wasn't it? But it was also like,
It was a good room.
yes.
Yeah.
Not the
felt
most
weird
ideal
when-
venue, but
Yeah.
Your audience would kind of come in and be like, is this right?
Yeah.
People
Weird ass
eating
state
Somebody on in here.
and they had like the stairwell was like so narrow and weird and stuff like that. But do you know what? Great room.
Great
As long as-
room. No dressing room.
No.
But it meant that we all got to bond because we'd have to sit in the little bit of the corridor where the audience are literally queuing, just looking at you.
Just like in the royal box, waving at them.
I used to literally hide. I would get them to see the wee sort of thing that they would put up with all the names of the shows.
Yeah.
I would hide between that and a bit of the walls, so there was like a wee 5-yard gap where no one could see me. And every day I just sat in that wee thing because I just wanted a wee bit. I just like a wee bit of showbiz, anonymity.
Oh, for sure.
You know, a bit of mystique.
Yeah.
Is that so much to ask?
You want to pretend there's steak restaurants in Vegas?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's a good headspace to be in before you go and do a gig, to be literally hiding in a small bit, trying not to be seen. I think it makes you feel really good before you're like,
My first ever show was at Pleasance, and it was like the cellar. So like, there's literally just a curtain where you just kind of stand like this for 15 minutes until people are coming in, going, "I wonder if this is going to be shit." And you're just standing there, and then people like can peek behind the curtain, and you're just like trying not to move. It's humiliating.
oh my God.
Yeah.
The first venue I did with, David Callahan.
Aye.
Yeah.
And we did a 2-hander at, I think it's called the Pilgrim or something.
On Cowgate.
Yeah. And it was years ago, but it was like, it's just a pub that shows like sport, and they don't change that in any way for when the Fringe is on. And we were performing under a TV that was always showing like dirt bike racing. And it was like quite interesting to watch, and sometimes you'd sort of get distracted in your own show and be like, that's a big hill. And there's no like partition between where you're doing your show and where people are just coming in to drink and chat. There was like nothing. And so it was really hard. But the thing, I don't know if I should even say this, but the thing, there was a performer on before us who was an arsehole. He was a horrible arsehole, right? He was a poet. Come on.
Jesus Christ.
Come on, mate.
Grow
Put
up.
a punchline in, you coward. And he
John Cooper Clarke was performing.
You heard of it? It was really shit. And he'd come in and he'd fly at our audience while me and David were stood behind the curtain waiting to come on, and he'd go, "Don't see this shit." He's like, "You've just missed a much better show. Come back tomorrow and see this." And we were like,
oh my God,
fuming. And he'd overrun every day. And the way we got revenge by the end of the Fringe was in the bar, just behind the stage, was a telephone for the venue. And when he was on, we started ringing the phone. And he'd be like, can some member of staff turn that off? And they're like, we need to leave it on. So we'd just be in the bar, just being like, redial. Every time you got to like the end of one of his poems.
That's great.
That's
It's
really
very
funny.
petty. But
No,
he was
I love
he was a real bad guy.
Yeah, he's a piece
he's
of
not
shit.
been nominated.
Exactly.
I don't know what the poetry awards are. But
Did you not do a poetry
I've done
festival?
gigs with poets. I did a poetry festival in Barrow. Wasn't doing poetry.
Oh, so I don't have
I'm
anything
mixed with
against
these people.
poets. Just to clarify.
Am I not right in saying that you also got nominated for Delightful Sausage last year as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were
for
were
main
you
award.
the first person that's ever been nominated in the same year for 2 different shows?
Yes.
That's cool.
That is cool,
very cool.
isn't it?
Well done.
Thanks, guys.
There you go.
Thank you, guys. but it sort of means like I can't come back because it's always going to be shitter. I'm always going to go downhill now.
Yeah.
Unless I get like nominated, which for the main award and somehow like the panel prize.
Yeah, for your charitable work
I
as
need
well.
to do like a brilliant show and some great conceptual charity work.
Cure something, maybe.
Yeah. Solve homelessness.
It's a lot of pressure, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really good. But I thought if I came back again this year, it would just be such a letdown for me and for anyone in the audience because I wouldn't be good.
It's a gun to your head now.
I'm done checking out.
I tell you, Amy, that's not stopped me.
You sound so good for it as well.
No, that's interesting. For the uninitiated, can you explain what the Delightful Sausage is?
So it's a double act. We're not sketch.
No.
Don't you dare call us sketch. We're a double act. It's me and a guy called Christopher Cantrill, who is a sort of a man who looks like a toddler, but it's got like, but he's a dad, weirdly. It's really fucked up. And he runs on anxiety. That's him. He's got a tiny little
It's like
mouth.
one of those sort of Victorian freak show things, isn't it? It's like a...
Jesus Christ.
I'm kidding on.
It is. He looks like a toddler. He calls me a big-titted boy. And we're just like an odd couple. And we write like, it sounds wanker than it is, but we write like little adventure stories. Oh God. When I'm slagging off poets and I'm like, let's go on an adventure to an island. We've been doing that for about 6 years, something like that. And I met him. I was actually in a double act with his wife.
Oh, wow.
And I'd not met him, and she was like, will you come and watch my boyfriend's stand-up show? He's not sold any tickets. And it's a work in progress. And I was like, Nicola, this sounds awful. I was like, I don't want to watch your crap boyfriend stand-up. And we went and I watched it. There was about 6 of us there, and it was really weird because I was like, oh no, this is my favourite comedy I've ever seen.
Oh, wow.
But then because it's weird because it was like my mate's boyfriend at the time, and I was like, I think he's my favourite comedian. I'm really sorry, I think he's brilliant. It was so weird. It would have been so much easier if he was just pants, and I was like... but then Nicola got pregnant with Chris. That's how that works. And Chris sort of took her out the game. So he'd taken my double act partner, got her up the duff, she was out the game, and then he's like...
Absolute hit job on her.
Yeah.
And he's snuck in.
And he's like, I'll do something with you. And we've never looked back.
That's sneaky. That's good. Good thing.
Unless she's orchestrated this whole thing.
Do you think?
I mean, it's not out of the realms of possibility that she's thought, I want to have the baby, and he's not selling any tickets to the show, so I'm going to get my friend who I know is successful to join up,
like
and then my baby will eat.
It's like sort of inside number 9.
But number 9 is her uterus. It's amazing.
So at the time, what were you doing at the time when you went to see this? Were you doing stand-up or were you doing...
Yeah, so I'd done a little bit of stand-up.
Where did you start, Amy?
I was living in Leeds, but I did my first gig in Manchester, and I didn't tell anyone I was doing it. So I booked it in. I wanted to do stand-up for ages. And I started going out with a boy that was doing open mic stand-up, I think just so I could like get some gig details. And he was like, I thought it was really funny, but he wasn't doing well, and the audience didn't like him at all. And when I look back, it's like, oh yeah, I think he was really bad. He would go on as this character called Holden.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Promising.
It's good stuff. And he would do like an American accent, which he sort of couldn't do. And he'd just read lists. But I thought he was like this mad alternative comedian who's a genius. But I think he was just like a bad normal comic that was trying his best to do jokes but failing. But I was like, wow, this is meta and this is incredible.
There's a lot of them when we started it, I felt there was always a lot of those guys who are like, oh yeah, like fuck those mainstream acts with their punchlines, and their jokes.
Your audience enjoys it, you sell out.
Very much that vibe, 100%.
So I was going out with him, really wanted to try it, booked it in Manchester, snuck off didn't tell anyone I was doing it, and I felt like I was having an affair. Got on the train to Manchester, did a gig, kept my coat on. I was actually borrowing my mum's coat. I kept my mum's coat on the entire gig because I thought if it goes bad, I can just run out the gig, and nobody ever needs to know that I've done this. But I loved it.
How did it go? First one.
It was good. It was for funny women, like the
competition thing.
Yeah. And so it was very very supportive.
Was it a heat for that?
It was just a heat, so it was like, it was all lovely ladies. All, do you know what I mean? If I'd have done that at any other place, I think I would have died a horrible death. But it was very much women being like, she's trying her best and she's kept her coat on. She's probably got mental health issues. Let's give her a clap. So it was good. But I came off thinking, I wish I'd have tried that sooner. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about, when did you guys sort of start?
I was 22. But even then, I remember seeing people and be like, oh, he started when he was 17. I could be 5 years better already.
I was 21 when I think, or 22 as well.
I was 22 as well. So I feel like I was kind of glad that, because I think sometimes when you see the guys that are like, you know, start really young, like 17, 18, like right out of school, it's like, at least you get a bit of life experience first. And then I kind of knew what, like, you know, going on holidays with my mates and all this, like, you know, before I got like, and just like having a bit of just normal life before then, like,
rather than like, who's doing their GCSEs?
That, and then straight into like the only thing you know about is the stand-up circuit. So it's like kind of like it's a mad like existence to live in it. So
I think you can always tell when comedians have had proper jobs.
Aye.
Because I think even some of the comedians that started a bit older but are like very privileged, they've got like, and they're really good still, but it's like you can tell you haven't had a proper job. you don't know what it's like for us in the audience. Car blistered hands.
What jobs did you do before?
Oh my God. I worked in a box factory where I had to fold boxes. Like, you know, boxes for like antihistamines and stuff.
Did you live in Leeds in the 1800s?
Yes, I'm looking very good for it, thank you. You had to fold the boxes up and then they'd send the folded boxes to the place to put the pills in. So you didn't touch any pills, you just was on a line folding boxes. And I was the youngest person by about 60 years. And I turned up real cocky.
In box folding.
It's like, here I am.
Best you coming in that.
I'm in a walk. But it was like the old ladies on the line were like fast. They were like elite box folders, and I was like fumbling, like, oh, I've never done it before. And but the best thing was they'd let you take a bin bag of unfolded boxes home to fold at home, and if you brought it back all folded, you'd get like 30 quid, right? So I started this like pyramid scheme basically with my family, and I was like taking home like bin bags of boxes to Auntie Carol, being like, you get them, I'll give you 25 quid, I'll keep 5 quid, and the whole family like box folding. And then I was like, I'm going to have to jack in the box folding because I'm going to go to university. Like, no, none of us had ever been to university. And I was like, I'm going to go to university. And they were fucking gutted. They were like, what about the boxes? You
can't fold a degree.
What Alexandra's going to do. I folded a degree. So everyone was very disappointed that I went to Leeds Uni.
But for the different reasons than posh privileged people would be disappointed. You're getting a bugger station.
What did you do at uni?
I did performance and cultural industries,
right?
Which isn't a thing. The only reason I went is because Rhys Shearsmith from the League of Gentlemen is from Hull, and I'm from Hull, and our mums worked at the same doctor's surgery as receptionists. So Rhys was like the only person who I could see in my life that had like done something that I'd want to do. So I was literally like, well, I'll just do exactly what he did. Like I'll just follow that to the thing. So it wasn't Leeds University. It's technically called like Bretton Hall. It's like an offshoot of Leeds University. And it's where League of Gentlemen met. And it's the only university I applied for. And I thought, if I don't get that, I'll stick with my boxes.
Still got the boxes. Still got the boxes. It's a good fallback.
It's a good fallback. But got in. So then I was like, well, brilliant. Then I'll be in the new League of Gentlemen, or like the League of Gentlemen and a woman called Amy. And yeah, so I did that.
And that was that course. Is that what one of them did? Was that what Rhys did, or was
what
it?
They all did. I think it was just it was called just performance before that, but it was like it's a weird course. It's like Bretton Hall it's shut now. I think it makes sense when I tell you why.
Fucking it's like Stoke Mandeville and Sal's or something. It's like, oh no, it's, you know, it's not that now.
I did
bad stuff happened back there.
Stoke Mandeville. It was a big old like sort of mansion, well, like country house thing in the middle of like a Yorkshire field.
Yeah, it does sound very Legal Gentleman already.
Exactly. And the only courses they do are like arty, weird. It's like movement or dance or like live art or, you know, like it's not like a drama school or anything like that. They didn't teach you how to act. I wish they did, but they didn't. And on the first day, as like a team building thing, and like I've come from like literally folding boxes, you know, and this was so mad to me. We had to like find a partner, and we had to shut our eyes while the teacher played piano, and we had to feel each other's bodies.
That's creepy.
Weird.
Day one.
Yeah. That was like Tamsin was talking about yesterday. It was like
she went to drama school to a degree, and they wanted everyone to be naked at one point.
get
Oh
naked.
my God.
Yeah. That's creepy, isn't it?
It is creepy.
Yeah, what the fuck's going on at drama
What the
school?
fuck's going on? One of the performances that we saw when I was in first year, and it was a third year performance, was a girl who was laid on a table naked, and the audience had to walk in one at a time, and you were invited to put something in her.
Sorry?
Yeah. So there was a table of like implements, or you could use a finger.
Are you kidding?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
And this, she was okay with this?
She designed this.
All right.
Yeah. She'd gone, I know what I'm going to do. To me, it very much sounds like, oh, fuck, I haven't prepared a thing. Someone to finger me, please.
May as well take up the wrong and I've not done my homework. It's the only option.
Yeah, so
Jesus Christ.
it was really like a weird place. But like loads of people have gone, like Natasha Demetriou went there.
Cool.
Richard O'Brien went there. I think the Chuckle Brothers went there. Do you know what I mean? It's a real veritable feast.
That's great.
It's a Northern Footlights effectively.
We're all just naked getting stuff put in us. Is this it? Is this art? Is this what they do in London?
I missed that Chuckle Vision episode.
To me.
That is so true though about like because when I went to uni basically because I'd done work experience and I'd done a journalist thing and the guy just done English, Latin, English language at Glasgow Uni, and so I was like, I don't know, whatever age you're, 13, 14, when you go and do work experience, and I just thought, well, I'll just go and do exactly that thing then.
Yeah.
And then obviously as well with stand-up and it, like just when you have people from a place that you're from that can show you that it's a thing that's possible.
Exactly, yeah. Because if Reese hadn't have done it, if I'd have gone to any, job advisor and been like, I'd like to do some sort of weird, absurd comedy place, they'd have said no. But because you can go, it's technically possible and you're just following them steps.
Yeah.
So I've basically just ripping off Rich Shearsmith my whole life. And it's weird that my mum knows his mum, but I've never met Reese. Never.
Right.
And my mum's been to like his mum's like 50th birthday party.
Oh,
She's
really?
like, Reese, was that? I should have invited you. And it's like, yes, you fucking should. Don't worry about it, Mum. Thank you. The one connection you've got. You're not like celebrity parents. You're not rich parents. The one connection you've got, and you're always like, oh, I didn't think.
we used to know a guy like my mum used to work in a place and the receptionist was a guy called Tom Brogan.
That's right, yeah.
And she used to be like, oh, this guy Tom, and he said he used to do stand up and all that. And basically he was in the first series of Limmy's show.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So random, right? And then so I know Tom, we've met him a wee bit over the years now, he's fake like banking it. But my mum just used to like work with him, and then it just like
You introduced me to this guy. He's in Limmy's show. He could get me into Limmy's show.
I know. No, he's emailing us every week asking us to come on the pod. We're no answer. No, get on. No, Tom's all the guy, but it was just so mad, like just such a weird sort of coincidental thing, But it's just he says he used to do stand up now, and he writes plays and stuff now. But it's just like such a mad thing, like. Yeah,
use your only sort of connection you can, I think.
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mum works with Vivian. That's no use.
Vivian?
Just a teacher.
What's what?
Vivian.
What's Vivian?
She works with my mum.
Oh, she works with.
She's not in showbiz.
All right, I thought Vivian was
no, not an act. No, I don't think she's on at the Fringe this
year. You were talking about your work experience in school there. Mine was HMV. And it was quite happy with that because
we've got a bright future here at HMV.
Exactly.
We can't see any reason why we won't be here
First
forever.
day, it felt like the kind of box packing thing because first day I just had to peel stickers, the sale stickers off CDs and put them back, and my wee fingers were raw. I was thinking when you were doing that, were your fingers raw when you were doing that? Yeah, it's tough work.
It's really hard.
It is.
At the front line of manual labour. Sticker won't come off.
I'm picturing you absolutely rapid like those kids with Rubik's Cubes.
By the end, I was a monster. But at first, it's very slow. But yeah, by the end. But I used to get swollen fingers, big swollen fingers. And I really did feel like, I'm like a builder or something. So I've got like a physical injury from my work, my manual labour work. Peeling stickers off, I bet that's really good.
It was for building up finger strength.
Just for like my favourite.
When you do your art installation.
For when you have to feel someone's body naked while the teacher plays the piano.
Oh, do you peel stickers by chance? I do.
Ow. I really like doing the sort of work where it's like, my favourite job that I've had is like photocopying in a doctor's surgery. Because it's just, where you...
Was that with your Nepo baby there? Because your mum was a receptionist?
Absolute massive Nepo baby. Every school holidays, get me in that photocopying room. I loved it. But it's, like something that you're doing and there's an end to the task. Like it's like, photocopy these 50 things. When you've done that, you've done the task.
Yep.
And your brain's not really involved in it at all. Whereas I think with stand-up, there's never an end to it. We're never going to complete stand-up ever.
Yeah.
So we're never going to... Sorry, guys.
This is the voice of a woman who's not got a Fringe show this year. Came in like Michael Jordan last year, took the 2 noms and left.
I think the fucking month of August will ever end.
Fucking hell.
But do you know what I mean? There's
I think
we
about
can
that a
never
lot.
tick it off and be like, okay, that's done. What next? It's like, no, it's constant. And we never stop ever.
Yeah.
There's something to worry about at all times.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
Thanks
having
for
homework.
coming on.
That's just being a writer. It's like having homework for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Basically, you just feel like you should always be doing something.
Oh my God, that's so right.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but like, I want to call myself a writer. Like, I love the fantasy of being like, I'm a writer. I get up, I just find somewhere quiet, I just write. But the idea, like, I find writing, I feel like I'm physically drowning. I feel like my whole body doesn't want to do it ever. And I feel like I have to like turn my head to the laptop and like, I do enjoy it, but I also hate it.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a mad thing for me to have chosen
To do.
and not just chosen to do, but like risk everything to do,
Yeah.
like work so hard to do. And you're like, I don't know if I like it. I think I hate it in a way.
Is it just how do you procrastinate then? What sort of stuff do you do when you're not writing?
Oh God, good question. I think I just sit and think about how much I've got to do.
Yeah,
I don't like.
It's the opposite of photocopying, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's the exact opposite of the job I think I was born for. I think writing's really, I find it difficult.
We were saying this before we press record, but like you were meant to come on yesterday, but you're swamped with writing with Chris. And me and Steve really related to that because the amount of times we'll sit down to write and it's like, we'll think we'll be done by lunch, but actually it's like 3 days later you're still in the room just banging your head off the wall.
Yeah.
It's brutal, isn't it?
Just writing one word and then deleting it and writing another similar word and then deleting it and going back to the first word and then going, I think I need to go for a walk. I think writing, so do you write together on...
Yeah, write scripts and stuff.
We write some scripts together.
But how do you write? Do you ever write your own stand-up with somebody?
Stuart
Not
writes
really.
Steve stand up.
We swap over.
We only ever really, we'd go for a coffee and bat around ideas or whatever, but
Yeah.
writing would be solo for me for stand-up.
Yeah, like you say, we used to kind of meet up sometimes, and a premise I would have for stand up would be the world's a fucked up place, and then I would get
every one of his premises,
and then I'd get Stu to
write the punchline.
There's something in that because
the
world is kind of a fucked up place.
When you think about it, guys, actually, can we just get real for a second, actually?
And I'd be like hoping Stu would give me some sort of punchline for it.
The lights go down, the Earth song comes on, and you get on the cherry picker. What about sunrise?
No, the cherry picker's your thing.
That's me. I'm going to do that. If we ever do a live show in a big arena, I'm going to have a cherry picker and recreate Michael Jackson Earth song.
Do it now.
Yeah.
The budget
and the Tron.
MB3 for a live show tomorrow has not really got the capacity or the. I think they can barely fucking get the fucking mics working most of the time. Never mind.
Get a cherry picker. Switch the aircon off of your head.
we can have the cherry picker, the aircon up off.
All the crowd sitting there raging like, I'd like to be cool right now, but the cherry picker was pretty. It was a good choice. It was a good intro.
Yeah.
Like fucking freestyles for Charlie done before.
Derivative of my MJ.
Mark Steele had a cherry picker in the 90s.
Do you find reviews always like mention where you're from? As the first thing.
Usually.
Is that more because it's like a regional thing? Do you find that?
I think if you're from London, it sort of doesn't get mentioned, or I don't know. But I think if you're like Northern or Scottish or Irish or Welsh, it's like bubbly, stupid Northern woman does this, and you're like, yeah, fine, stupid, keep that in, but you don't need like the Northern. And I've just been reading loads of reviews, and it's just like it seems like it's how we're contextualized before anything else.
Yeah.
But is that the same for you guys?
Yeah, I think
so. Mainly, yeah.
Depends if it's like a Scottish reviewer or if it's like a London reviewer or whatever. Do you know what I mean? If it's a Scottish one, they probably wouldn't mention it, maybe.
Yeah.
But I was so annoyed by someone else in a review this morning that I never picked up on that. I got a review this morning. It was a good review. It was like 4 stars, but it was the first line was something like, when you arrive a few minutes late to a comedy show and everyone's dying with laughter, that's a very good sign. I'm like, why would you come late as a reviewer and then tell on yourself?
Yeah. And have that
minimum, I'm keeping stum if I miss the first few minutes of a show. That's my only job.
Yeah. Also,
100%.
to be fair, like saying hearing laughter at a comedy show is a good sign. Fucking obviously, like, that is like, you're meant to be seeing through what are the laughs about exactly what has been said on stage.
Yeah,
Sausage got a review once where it said. Like the review, they hated us, but in the review they kept being like annoyed that other people were finding it funny. So there was like really good pull quotes, but it's like everyone in the room was crying with laughter, but I didn't know what they were laughing at. We had these amazing like pull quotes, but it was that was from this student review, whatever it was, but there was 2 of them that came, and they came in bright red t-shirts that said reviewer on them.
Fuck's sake.
Why did you do that?
What are you doing?
That's crazy.
Why would you do that?
Why is that a t-shirt that exists?
Yeah.
Why would they've got that printed off? Sure,
it's so embarrassing.
Went in the photocopier.
Yeah.
So got a t-shirt.
So you went to you done this performance thing at uni? Was that the plan?
Yeah.
Did you want to be an actor? Or did you always kind of want to try stand up? What was the?
I wanted to be. What I wanted to be was in Fawlty Towers.
Is it still going? I've not kept up.
Yeah, it's like season 267. It is coming back. Have you seen that?
I've heard that. Yeah.
No.
Maybe now's your time. Now that it's going to be shite.
Now it's definitely going to be cancelled and homophobic and transphobic, which it will be.
Imagine what a mad turn that would be if you got offered a part and to the point where you're like, I should probably turn this down, despite the fact it was your only ambition when you started.
Yeah.
I've seen Gledhill's recently. She's playing Manuel. It's crazy.
Imagine if that's the part I got offered. That'd be amazing. I just remember my parents watching Fawlty Towers and laughing. And I remember being a kid, like one of them little formative experiences as a kid. And I remember being like, oh, I like this.
Yeah.
I want to make people do that. And I became obsessed. Like, as a little creepy little, like, 6-year-old girl, being obsessed with Basil Fawlty is so weird. And all my school projects would be about Basil Fawlty. It was so fucking creepy. Sinister little girl. So I think I always wanted to be like maybe like a comedy actor.
Right.
But I hadn't really considered doing stand-up. But then... but stand-up, you don't have to wait for anyone else. You don't have to get cast or, you know, you can just do it.
Yeah.
Nobody stops you, even if they should. You can just do it.
Yeah, you can do it forever. It doesn't matter how bad you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one's going to stop.
Yeah, there's no course of action to stop someone from doing it.
Even if you're like a sex pest, you can keep going.
Basically,
like, you go away for a few weeks, you come back and you're fine. Everything's fine.
Post bingo for a couple of weeks, you're back in the big time.
No. I believe Amy, because here I was interested with that because obviously, I mean, I wouldn't see it out of the realms of possibility that you would have been able to meet John Cleese at some point. I'm pretty sure you haven't.
God.
He's not, same circles, but you must have met some interesting folk because you are probably, I think, the first guest we've had who has done the double of Some Laugh and the Jonathon Ross Show.
The two biggies.
Here we go. The two.
Was he eating sausage rolls while he was doing that? Didn't say that
He does keep one just on his side table, just in case.
I thought he'd becoming irrelevant these days. This is new broadcast and eating a fucking sausage roll.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, God.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, that was really mad. And do you know, like, I told my mum I was doing it because you find out like 2 days before, and I texted my mum and I was like, I'm going on the Jonathon Ross show, and my mum texted back being like, his radio show, and I was like, no, like the Jonathon, his TV show. And she was like, why?
Talk about the box folding, of course.
Well, your Auntie Carol get some boxes out today. I was like, yeah, I'm going on it. And then I sent her a picture when I got to the dressing room, because the dressing room's like proper. Do you know what I mean? They've put like flowers in, and it's like, oh, it's so cool. And I sent her, I was taking like all the free stuff was straight in my bag. I was like, taking pictures of everything. And I sent her the picture. And then she sends me a text that wasn't meant for me. It's meant for my Auntie Carol. And she says, well, she must be doing it because she sent me a picture from the dressing room. Didn't believe me. But it was really cool. And I got to sit next to Paolo Nutini.
Oh, wow.
Oh
he's a hottie with a body. He's a hottie with a body. That's all I'm going to say on that matter.
Is that what people say?
Did you see him again? Because we were both on at Latitude and he was on.
Yes.
Did you see him there?
No, I left because I didn't want to camp another day.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I thought, maybe we'll be friends, and I'll message him when I get to Latitude and be like, oh, can I stand on the side of the stage? And maybe that could have been a reality, but literally the idea of camping was so horrific. I was out of there. I bought all new, because I don't have a tent. So I bought I did like an Argos shop the day before Latitude, got like a tent and all the bits. And I was like, yeah, maybe this is me. Maybe I'm going to be like a camping girl now. Be like an outdoorsy kind of girl. And I camped for one night, and then I gave everything that I'd bought away because I know in my heart of hearts I'm never doing that again.
Yeah.
So I was just like, gave away like
that's what's going to get you the panel prize this year.
Yeah.
Charitable.
I gave my airbed to Rosie Holt. Do I get a prize?
What did your mum not think when you were on, and how did you find it when you went on?
It's fine. It's just fine. Like, do you know, like when something's massive, but when you're doing it, you can't really process that it's massive. Like right now, I feel like I'm just having a chat with some mates.
Yeah,
but when I
it's
leave,
pretty
I'll be
massive.
Like,
This is huge.
texting me Auntie Carol like, I did it. They were nice. It was great.
She must have done it. She sent a picture. I did some laugh logo on a fucking telly back behind.
So it's all fine, and it's just like, the thing is, you have to sit in the little, do you know they've got like a little green room that they keep cutting to, which is just behind the stage.
Yeah, I guess that's why it's so nice, because they've got it on camera, don't they? So they can't have a fucking shit tip.
Just the middle of carnivore, everyone's eating a steak dinner.
Mark's there just.
And drink Harry Barlow. And he's just
but you have to sit there. And the camera, like, intermittently, like, just, you know, it's there all the time. Obviously, the cameras don't just come in when they're filming. But, like, you don't know when you're being filmed.
Warning, no.
So you kind of just have to... You're so nervous, but you kind of sat, like... like, for an hour before you're on.
Oh, God.
Just, like, it's tense. And I was sat next to Andy Serkis, you know, who does... Gollum. Just and then you have to sort of make small talk with Andy Serkis.
I'm just picturing him with like one of those like morph suits with loads of little ping pong balls on it, doing his motion.
It was it was really cool. And then you go out and you do it, and he does it where he'll like have all his big guests, and then he's got like a newer act or whatever, and he brings them on at the end. So you're only on for like. Probably only record for about 15 minutes. So it's a really nice way to do it. And he's very funny. Like he's legitimately like really quick and really funny. And I think it's like a really safe, like you feel looked after, and you feel like he won't let you make a tit of yourself or whatever. And it was all fine, and it's going fine. And then it cuts to Paolo Nutini doing his music. And I'm sat on the sofa, and I just had this like out of body experience while I'm watching that, because I'd be just dead excited to get a ticket to see Paolo Nutini.
Yeah.
Do you know, if I'm just in the audience, and I'm sat there, and I'm sat next to Peter Crouch.
There's an old couple. You and Peter Crouch.
I was just like, I have definitely had a car accident, and I'm in a coma, and this is a dream.
And he was there with his wife as well, wasn't he, on that episode? Is that right? Yeah.
Abby Clancy.
Did she at any point turn to you and go, "Do you want to do a double act with my husband?" I was like hanging about with him.
That would be amazing. Oh my God. She was so she was so nice. She's so beautiful. Do you know when you see someone in real life that's so beautiful that like you don't really know how to, like, I know she's like a woman and I can say hello to like a human woman, but she's so stunning that it's just like I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I got to do the robot with Peter Crouch. We all had to hold hands and nice. When you're like, what is happening here? It was really good. And then you sort of, and then it goes out the next night. So there's no like, because you film stuff usually and then like, it'll go out in a year.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, well, I'm bored of it by then. But because it goes like straight out, and then you can show your mum and your aunties who don't understand your career or life choices at all. You can show them like, that is me, and I have done it. But it happens really quick, and then you can sort of relax.
And it just gives them something, because I think like sometimes all they want is to be able to tell their pals and their work that you're doing well. Have something to say.
Yeah.
And give them something.
Exactly. And I think it's hard for my mum saying like, my mum describes it to next door neighbour, Janet. I always hear her be like, well, she does sort of weirdy comedy, Janet. She does like sort of weirdy stuff. It's like, it's not about meat specifically, but it is. It's a sausage thing. And you can see Janet being like, oh, Christine, I'm so sorry.
Right, you've got me sold, Amy. What lies next for Amy Gledhill?
So the thing that I'm writing is this Radio 4 series with Chris.
Oh, brilliant.
And that's really fun. It's called Big Little Questions, and we thought it would be really easy to do. We interview kids and they ask us questions that, you know, adults should know the answer to, like, what is electricity? And and it's actually just been the hardest thing I've ever worked on. Because we had to get like a researcher, you know, to like actually answer the questions. And then you have to write a script from research, but that means that you have to read research.
It's just like a real job.
It's like a job.
Get back in the fucking box factory. Reading all these articles, your hands are getting all calloused. You know?
This is it. I'm back to manual labour. So that's what we're doing next.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And you've been directing shows as well, is that right?
I directed just Tamsin show. Lovely
Great.
Tamsin. Yeah.
Brilliant.
And
I
it's
saw it the
so
other night.
good. Oh,
Fantastic.
I'm so proud of her. She has been such a joy to work with, and I can't take any credit for directing it. It was literally just going and being like, yeah, that's really good. Yeah, do more of that, I suppose. But I really like directing, so I think I might direct one a year.
Oh, that's good.
That's
all right, isn't it?
And as for stand-up, are you any plans to return anytime soon?
I'm going to do a tour. I've done my first little tour and it was nice. So I'm like, all right, I want to do another one. So I'm going to have to write another show, which is the pain, isn't it? Because you just want to do a tour and not have to do any work for the tour. You just want the credit, but none of the work. So I think I'll have to come to Edinburgh next year and do a work in progress or just a couple of weeks. I don't think I'm ever going to do the full Fringe again.
Really?
Yeah.
It's too long, isn't it?
It's too long and it's so punishing. And because I had on paper, such a nice time last year, but it was still horrible. I don't think I'm ever going to enjoy it then.
It's exhausting doing one show, but doing two shows, that must have been grueling.
Yeah, it is, but I was really worried about doing two shows, in Edinburgh, being tired, but then I hadn't factored in writing two shows and previewing two shows.
Yeah.
Your year's fucked.
Yeah.
Because from January, it's all just about Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And then you get to Edinburgh and then the producers go, oh, I liked that show. What ideas have you got? And you're like, they were my
That
ideas.
was it,
That's all the ideas I've got. That's
You've
all
just
I've
seen 'em.
done.
You've
Yeah,
seen the ideas.
them.
Yeah.
What about a reboot of 40 Towers?
I will be playing Manuel.
A League of Gentlemen and a girl called Amy.
Nice.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so
for
much.
joining
Thanks
us.
for having me.
It's such a good
it's a
laugh.
pleasure.
Before you go, where can people find you online?
Oh, just the usual places and that, innit?
What's your @?
I think it's at that Amy Gledhill, because there is another Amy Gledhill who is a sex therapist, and if you follow her, it's definitely more interesting. But look for me as well.
And Delightful Sausage as well.
And Delightful
Here's
Sausage,
the-
which is at sausage.
Sweet.
Great.
Okay,
Nice one,
for
thank
the
Protein
you.
bar is my
Sure.
favourite video of all time, by the way. It's 3 seconds.
Which one?
Uh,
Protein bar.
It's just literally 3 seconds. Them two drunk. You've got mascara down your face. Chris goes, it's a petrol station. She goes, you want out? And he goes, protein bar. That's literally all it is. I've watched it about 100 million times. It's the funny thing.
Try and
in the
add
world.
that into the end of the
So
video
good.
as well.
So good.
Excellent. Thanks for joining us, Amy. As ever, just please remember to like and subscribe on YouTube. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And you can follow us at SomewhatPod on Instagram, TikTok and Twitter. Sign up to Patreon and send any emails you've got for us to our email address, which is somewhatpod@gmail.com. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. Speak to you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Amy,
you.
that was
Cheers,
great.
Amy.
Yay.